All right, guys. What's up? DragBoss. DragBoss Garage. And the Bossette, Izzy. So what are you doing is...
taking out this spark plug.
Yep. So by now, if you've seen this part of the video or whatever, you know that we got some issues. So the first thing we're going to do to diagnose this is I want to pull out the spark plugs first. Kind of look at the plugs and make sure I don't see any metal on them or debris or evidence of damage. The first two, they look mint. So no issue there. And Izzy said that she would help Dad fix the car because we want to get it back there. Because we're on site for a 920. I'm telling you right there, the 125, 60 foot, we were good. So I said, you know, perfect. Now, is that the last one?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at it. You bring your light over. You really need a magnifying glass if you really want to. We always want to hold it by the insulator here, or this, not by this part. But see how dry that is? That's nice, yeah. And you can see like the spark travels up the electrode right here. Let's show the guys here. I don't know, you can see, that's a good looking plug. So now the other one had a tiny bit of oil on the threads here, which could be a little bit of blow by the rings, I don't know. Now we got to get that last plug out of there. So your hands are much smaller, so you can get right in there. But really, it's a feel of the top of the insulator. You just feel that. There you go. I can hear it going on there. Yep. Now push it on to make sure that it engages that rubber insulator. So when you go to pull it up, you don't drop the plug and break it. Close the gap.
So hard to get.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a mechanic's be. That's one of the talents, or one of the descriptions, and that's the word I'm thinking of. Requirements. Be able to use your fingers.
You can't even.
Well, you have to figure a way. Now I can show. I know how to do it because I've been doing it for a long time. So what I found is this. Watch it. Come over here. You're trying to go like this. Turn your hand this way. Watch. Get in here.
Oh.
Ready? See how just my thumb and my index finger are turning it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The master. Yeah, right, Dad. So it's almost out of there, so you'll see. Come over on the side and do it this way. Instead of this, use your hand this way. Yep. 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 And use your thumb and your index finger. No, now you are.
I can fit 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The advantage you have is you can get in there easy and do this. Me, I have to finagle in there. So, like we talk about on DragBoss Garage, man, these are the things I want to teach my kids how to wrench. We went to the track the other day. Yesterday. Had a great time. Got some good videos. You've seen these or will see them. And she's rocking. But I've been beating on this block for 11 years. So either the block, something happened, but it never made any noise. I didn't hear any failure. So, you know, it could be a bad gauge, although I doubt that, but we'll check that. Bad gauge, oil pump drive shaft twisted or broke. I don't think so. Let's take a peek at that. You know, oil pickup fall off, I doubt that, but that could happen. Break off, that could happen. Another beautiful cylinder. I like it. Some people might think it's dark or a little rich. To me, it's good. So. Tight in it down there to get your hands in.
I know.
Huh?
Yes.
Slow but sure. Good work, Iz. So Izzy got all the plugs out. And she's going to go ahead and get in there. Yep, loosen up that, not that one, but the top one. Nope, the one on top of that.
This one?
Yep, the top nut.
This one?
Yep, the bigger one, yep, perfect. She's going to get in there and I'll see if you can see and try to loosen up. Yep, you want to go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Might be too big. If it's too big, get us 3/8, yep. So get it, that's too big. So what we're gonna do is she's gonna take that off. We're gonna hook up my old trusty oil pressure gauge. Might not look good, but it works good. So I know what it reads. And then I'm gonna I got all the plugs out. We'll do a compression test on number 1 and see if there's any oil pressure with a different gauge as we do the compression test through the cylinders.
This one's too small.
And it'll help us eliminate that from the equation.
Wait, never mind.
Yep, sometimes you just gotta move it around. Yep. Good work. Turn it one way, pull it off. Yep, take the wrench off. Yep, perfect. And you'll see as you get better, yep, pull your fingers back away from the wrench. You don't need all your hand in there.
I know.
It makes it, what'd you say, you know?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, so I'll let her do that, and then I'll get everything ready, and we'll do that test. So let's see, we got a compression gauge here. Whoops. Let's get it hooked up. Okay, here's an oil pressure gauge. I don't think you guys can see them, but let's see. Yeah, they won't be able to see them, I don't think. Go ahead and turn it over. Hit it. All right, let's do a different one and see what you got. It sounds like it doesn't sound too good to begin with. All right, now we have to screw this into that second spark plug hole. So you do that.
Second one?
Yep. All right, here's this. So let's see the compression gauge and make sure the oil pressure. Turn it. 200. Probably can't see that. There's 200 there and no oil pressure. It's like, am I doing damage by turning it over? I don't know. What'd you say?
I said, do you want oil pressure?
Oh yeah, I mean, it won't run without it. I mean, it won't last long. It has to run in that film oil. But if I don't see this gauge working, then something's not making pressure. So either the pump pickup could have fallen off, oil pump could have broken, distributor shaft could have twisted or broke, which I would think it would affect the way it runs, but I was having some issues. So all 3 holes so far, 200 PSI, which is good. Now, you could, they say you're supposed to crack the throttle open all the way. I ain't gonna make no difference here. I just want to see if there's some big change. Got it in there? Perfect. Now this goes on. So I'll put it on because you haven't really put these on. But see, you have to pull this back and it snaps in there. And when just turn it over, we turn it over and keep going. Go. Stop. Grab that gauge so I can. Okay, try it again. Wait. Go ahead. Okay, I mean, that's 200. Take that other one off. Go to the other side. The next thing we'll do is we'll pull up that distributor. Okay, so go ahead and turn it over.
I think they're all going to be 200.
Well, I like that. I'm going to pull these 2 screws loose for the distributor cap. We're going to take that off. So why don't you get those wires out from underneath the fuel line? Probably want to go around the other way.
Yeah.
Don't want to drop these screws. Once we take this distributor out, we don't want to be dropping screws anywhere. Not that it matters, but I don't want to have anything go there inside the motor we don't need to. Yep, and you can pull that cap right off now. Yep, careful. We don't want to bang that cap because it can break it. So feed those wires over careful. Get that other side good. these out. Get those wires out of there. Yep. Take the cap with your hand. Yep. Nice. Bring that, put it on our bench. And then, I don't know why I'm bothering marking this. And then take this wrench and loosen up this bolt. That's the distributor hold down, so take that loose.
Where? This thing?
No.
This?
Use the box end, it won't slip as easy. Yep, and then turn it the other way though. See how it fits on there. Oh, I was wrong. Go ahead. You were right. Flip it around. Yep. We want to start this way, honey. Give yourself some leverage. Yeah, now when you pull, you got some leverage on it. So it wants to, you're hitting that thing, so you want to lift up on it to center it and square it. Now pull, yeah. And that's a pretty easy bolt. And once it's loose, you can use your fingers. Yep, don't lose that now. Perfect. Go put it on the table, please.
Where?
So there's a bronze gear on my distributor. I'll tell you, I haven't changed that since 2005. It does have a burnt smell to it. So let's bring this over. We got the distributor out. I got a 5/16 socket on here. And I tape it just so I don't lose something. But let's see what it feels like when we're going to turn that. It's like there's no... Usually you would hear it sucking oil. You feel it. Even this little bit of turning will make pressure a little bit. It's got nothing. And I had that electric drill. We'll find that and I'll test it again, but it's making no oil pressure. Something's not right there, obviously, boys. So let's see. Well, the next step, drop the oil pan and just pull the engine. Well, there you go, guys. By Izzy the Bossette and DragBoss. A little bit of diagnosis. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. Usually you can turn that by hand and get some pressure. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going on. The question is, do I bother dropping the oil pan down and looking at it? I smell the oil. It smells burnt now. I drove all that time. You know, the chance of it having normal bearings is pretty slim. So at this point, I think I'll probably obviously just drain the oil anyways and cut the filter just for my own edification. But I mean, this engine's got to come out. It needs to be evaluated, taken apart and looked at and found out what's wrong. Block could be split, you know. Mains could be worn, but I mean, to drop oil pressure like that and the way it was running, let's get it apart. Well, there it is, guys. We're about it for now. It's, I don't know, Saturday night, 8 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I've had enough. It's not going to change anything. I'm working on it tonight. So, you know, we know it's got good compression. We know it's got 200 pounds in every cylinder. That's good. No oil pressure. That's bad. We turned it over with the wrench. There's no resistance at all. So something's broken. The oil pump maybe. But the smell, that motor smells burnt. I think at this point in time, if it's smart, it's got to come out and be evaluated. There's just no way I'm going to take a chance with it. But the transmission, the rear end seemed fine. I had the best 60 foot at 125. So now you're getting a taste of what it's like to work on hot rods. Do you like it?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Yeah. All
right, let's pull this engine out. Stay tuned to DragBoss Garage.
Like and subscribe.
There it is. All right, guys. So you watched Izzy and I start working on the Cougar the other night. She took all the spark plugs out. I loosened them. I didn't want to break them and take a chance of that happening. And but she took the distributor wires off. We got the distributor out. We evaluated it. So it's got compression. It's got an oil pressure. You turn that oil pump, does nothing. So at this time, I said, we got to take it out and be done with it. So I started taking and working on the carburetor, and it's not that I want to go doing this, but I'm kind of I'm excited in one way and dying to know what the hell, what happened, you know? It's something that I just want to know, what failed. So couldn't be that the block's 11 years old and I beat on it now for 11 years and all these RPMs, but we'll find out. Q16. So this is what I run here. This is just the old Pro Systems 1000 CFM. I got it in like 2004 or 5. I want to say 4, maybe 3. 20 something years ago. Really haven't done nothing with it. Everything I got in this car is old, 20 something years old. When I find something that seems to work well, I stick with it. So started by pulling off the fuel lines, the carburetor, distributors out of there. Have to undo the belts for the vacuum and the alternator. Drain the oil. We'll look at that. Pull the filter. I got a filter magnet on it. We'll see if anything's in the filter. Cut that open and drain the radiator. Then really it's a matter of the headers, bell housing, torque converter bolts. So I don't think I've had this engine out since I put it in, but I've had the transmission out. So it's supposed to be pretty easy with a motor plate. We'll find out how easy it is. So a couple other things you might be interested in. This is what Darren Morgan set up. I have everything labeled so I know exactly how it goes on, but this is an AR plate that I run. I'm telling you, man, I guarantee that thing works. Man, that smells good. Let's take a peek inside that intake and look at it. Sure don't look like she used to. Let's look down that intake. One good thing I see is it looks totally dry. Look at that. So you know this thing's flowing well, running the numbers that it runs. And I like that. Now, since I poured it in intake, I can see what he's done to this. Definitely, Darren. It's pretty nice. You know, that's a good sign when you look in the intake and there's nothing in there, maybe a little bit of film, but nothing, no puddles, no oil, reversion coming back up, anything crazy like that, man. It's clean. You can see a little bit of fuel or whatever it is. Let me feel it. Might be a little, probably residual fuel vapor. Reversion, I don't know. It doesn't really seem to be that bad to me looking at it. I don't see nothing coming back. Nice. Ouch. But there's a good look. It's kind of dark there. Works pretty well. So I'll put a little lift plate on there just to cover it up, keep any debris from getting down there. But I pick it up by the cylinder heads in the front, back. Along with the AR plate, there's a spacer on here. Makes the plenum a little bit bigger. Question is, we'll just roll it. Sometimes you have to undo the studs. Just doesn't want to come right out very easy. Just talk to it. Come on, baby. Come on, you're almost there. And that's what that looks like. Ported that. Yeah, he said, make sure you don't get this screwed up. So there it is. Rear Morrison on a Ford. All right, guys. Well, I got a lot of the top end all done. A lot of the header bolts, and really pretty much everything. I got the limiter to do, lateral limiter to undo, the rest of the header bolts, drain the fluids, unhook the radiator hoses, converter bolts, the rest of the bell housing bolts. Yeah, so it's not just something simple. But let's pull this, let's drain this oil. I'm dying to see what this looks like. It has a magnet on the end. I'm gonna catch a sample to send to Lake Speed so we can see how bad it was, because it had no wear after 26 runs of the dyno. So it's got that nice green color. People ask what kind of oil I run. It's Brad Penn 2050. There's some debris on the end of the drain plug. You can see. I don't want to be spilling oil all over the place. And this holds 9 quarts, so we'll set it over there. We'll get a peek at it. And these pans only hold about, I don't know, 4.5, 5 if you're lucky. I don't want to be making a mess, so I got to do the old pan switch. But not like chunks coming out of here like I thought it might be. But, you know, did I just wipe out the bearings? I mean, I was over revving this thing, I think. It's just way too much RPM. It's not made to run 84 and 8500. So I need better gears, the right gears. But man, the thing's 60 foot and so good. I hate to lose that by going with different gears, but it is what it is. But it's got a smell, like almost a burnt smell to it. This thing ran great one time, 5 years, 7,900 through the traps. I'm telling you, it's just too much RPM. Plus, and I think I said this before, it's got a long stroke. You know, it's loading the sidewalls probably. So we'll do this, let this drain, and then I'll get that oil filter off. I'm gonna need a wrench. I don't think I can just loosen it by hand. Hear the kids out there playing and screaming. What? Yeah, go ahead. What do you want?
So, you think, never mind.
Huh?
I forgot I was going to say, never mind.
All right. See? Don't even ask me what that was about, because I won't even know. All right, let me grab that filter wrench. I don't know what kind of view that is, but you can see where I'm working. So I just run the old valve 1A. So you can see where I'm working. It's kind of tight up there, but that's what I like about Cleveland. It's easy to get the filter off. I don't know about a Windsor. I never even changed oil on one that I can remember. But I got the Napa 1268, and I have that Tim Meyer adapter. Now I've been thinking too, I got that front to rear line. I never ever ran that, never had any oiling issues. So I think I don't think it makes a bit of difference, but that's my opinion. You can see it up there, I think. Yeah. So it's big, and there was an issue that Tim had that some of the threads weren't right on him or something. I don't know. Mine seems okay. I haven't messed with it. But we'll let this oil filter drain a little bit, and we'll see about cutting this thing open. All right, so let's see how this thing works. I used it one other time. Hope it doesn't distort that by tightening it up. Still get the filter off, but it's still probably a bitch to get the media apart. Doesn't probably just fall apart. I don't know. I'll cut this till I can't cut no more and see what we got. So if anybody's listening to this, and if I even get this out in time, depending on where we are, this whole thing, Frank Iaconio is going to be on 25th. I talked to him today. So we were talking about this old Cleveland. So I bet you spun a bearing. You're spinning it too hard. I said probably. Jesus. What a bitch. Of course, nothing can just fall out of there. Whether that little kink's doing it, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen no bad debris bearing stuff, so maybe I caught it. Who knows? About had enough of this oil filter business. Well, there you go, guys. There's a good close look at the oil filter media. If you look close, you can see small specks of what look like bearing material. It is non-ferrous. So now you see how we went through the diagnosis aspect of this potential engine failure. And the more I think about it, the more I'm concerned that there's deeper issues, so to speak. So let me get the engine removed, get it on the engine stand. First thing I'm going to do is flip that engine over and pull off that oil pan. I'm dying to look inside that. So I appreciate you guys being here at DragBoss Garage, where you're always seeing and learning something new. So stay tuned for the rest of the story.